I'm Rachel Gita Karp, she, her, and I'm the programs director at the Center for Artistic Activism.
And hello, I'm Rebecca Bray. I'm the executive director of the Center for Artistic Activism. Hello.
And hi, I'm Crystal Barrett, she, her. I am the programs manager at the Center for Artistic Activism.
So, just to tell you very briefly about who we are, the center, we are a nonpartisan nonprofit. We have been around since 2009, and we help activists and advocates all over the world launch winning campaigns, really by supercharging innovation, creativity, and rigor in all of their work. So we do this through training, through research, consulting, and creating and sharing resources with folks like you. So we wanted to show just a really quick video, which will give you a sense of what we're all about.
And we have helped hundreds of organizations develop more creative, impactful campaigns. These include both international and local advocacy organizations, groups working on issues ranging from climate change to public health to human rights and civic engagement. And these are on the screen are just a few of those organizations we've had the opportunity to work with.
And we're very excited to add more organizations through this Innovation for Impact Leadership Intensive. This is a practice-based program for leaders at advocacy organizations to work very closely with us this fall to design, implement, and evaluate a transformative creative campaign. And the title of the program has a lot of words in them. And so we just wanted to dive in and break down really what we mean by each one. And so we'll start with innovation.
Yeah, and so this program is all about innovation because it's really what this moment we're in requires. The traditional methods aren't working. If what we had been doing worked, we would have won already. So we need to approach our work in much better, smarter, and more strategic and innovative ways. So we're going to start off with an in-person intensive where we'll take you through tools, exercises, and frameworks that will help you find those innovative ways and be able to achieve your goals. And we've developed these materials by training thousands of people all over the world, and we constantly update them to be responsive to the moment. And in the design intensive, we'll take you through all of these tools to help you dream up much more strategic and innovative campaigns. And then we're going to continue working with you through coaching and additional support throughout the program to keep that innovation up.
Yeah, and just to note the dates at the top, they are nearly confirmed, but we think that in-person component will be September 7th through 10th.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
And what results from this kind of intensive are impactful, inspiring, surprising, and emotionally striking programs like these on the screen. It's not innovation for innovation's sake. It's to make a real, meaningful, measurable, exciting impact.
Yeah, and we are talking about impact on very many levels here. We've designed this program to help you, to help your organization, and to advance the issues that you care about the most. So the things that will support you in and train you in and coach you on will help you be a better leader. The methods are ones that you want to integrate into your organization to make your organization work better and win more. And then you'll be applying all of this directly to a campaign. So you'll get that practice, you'll get that experience and that deep understanding. This program is a big advancement from a program that we've run many times in the past called our previously called our Unstoppable Voters Fellowship. And just to get a sense of the impact that's had on some of our fellows, we have a little video that features what some of them had to say about our work together.
The training this week has had a great impact on my work in a number of ways. I'd say first off, with the Center for Artistic Activism and the Unstoppable Voters Fellowship, the training kind of like lays out these things that I've never given terminology to or an approach to. And so it's great for me to see like, oh, here's something that I've done, but here's another way that I haven't thought of it.
One of the more surprising realizations I had this week is just that I can't do it all on my own. So many of us work at small organizations where we don't get the opportunity to collaborate and brainstorm with each other. Also, since the pandemic, so many of us are remote, so we're often sitting at a computer by ourselves.
This week I learned that there are some really incredible people who I never knew before coming here doing really amazing things.
I think that the training this week has really just inspired me to reimagine how we do.
Sorry, the end of that was almost everything. And those are some of the amazing people we worked with in 2023. Some people we worked with last year had these things to say, that like this is the best training they've ever attended. They felt really inspired and energized and could feel their worldview shifting. This was from someone who's a director at the American Association of People with Disabilities. And then someone who works at an organization called the Chinese American Planning Council talked about how like working on so many crises at any time, it's easy to reuse the same tactics. And what she took from us was to prioritize creating a utopian vision, to think about strategy and have very specific goals. And that was all crucial in focusing for organizations' limited resources and creating tactics that would truly move the needle.
So, you might be wondering, what are some of the specific outcomes that you can expect after participating in the program? And one is a realized campaign, which is specific to your organization's goals and objectives, plus a suite of tactics that are really designed towards moving towards those objectives. And you'll have an opportunity to actually implement and test out to see what's really working. And then also, really importantly, tools that you and your team can use moving forward, apply to campaigns into the future that will increase your organization's innovation and effectiveness, in many years to come. And, one thing, of course, we always are asking, we're an education and research organization, so we're asking, how do we know that this works? Last year, our research department conducted a study of thousands of alumni of our programs. We've worked over 15 years with thousands of people, and they looked at the impact of our work with them. What the study found is that our training and resources have helped advocates worldwide innovate and expand their impact. In particular, the study shows that we've empowered advocates in 8 specific ways, or actually they're very big ways. Number one, there's really imagination. So helping people to envision solutions, not only by critiquing what's wrong, but by really dreaming of the world that they want to create and helping involve other people in that vision. There's also innovation, which we've talked about a lot, breaking out of old routines by embracing risk, surprise, fresh thinking, injecting creativity into campaigns in ways that work. There's also emotion. I think, we all understand how important that is right now in terms of change making, inspiring people by appealing to their heart as well as to their mind, tapping into the emotional power of joy and sparking passion for social change. But also there's strategy. And so one thing that we're really interested in is transforming those great creative visions into impactful campaigns with very thoughtful planning, setting very clear goals, identifying audiences in particular ways, building prototypes and evaluating them for success. And we also help with assessment. So We have a research component to our work, so we're always looking at how do we measure both affect and effect so that we understand how reflection and iteration can help us create better work all the time. And that's really responsive to the particular cultural and social and political moment that we're in. There's also community, so our programs are very much about connecting people to each other. You heard a little bit of that in the video. Fostering a sense of belonging and connectedness so that we all have more resources to draw from moving forward. And through that, there's pollination, spreading ideas, inspiring others by adopting effective frameworks, but also finding really great ways to communicate those stories to other people who need inspiration right now and need tools. And then there's something that we like to call IFECT, which is a combination of affect and effect, combining the powers of art and activism, blending that emotional impact with strategic goals for clarity and confidence to sustain movements over time. So those are all things that we bring to this. And in terms of what we're looking for people to be involved in this program, we are looking for leaders, so we're looking for executive directors, senior leaders at organizations, strategy leads at US-based advocacy organizations for this program, but really also people who want to break through all the roadblocks that might prevent campaigns from being really truly successful, people who want to help their teams bring their most creative and ambitious and joyful selves to the work in a time when people might be feeling some burnout. Of course, wanting to lead with imagination and wanting impact and are just ready to work really differently and are ready to win. So one thing we know is that leadership can look different in different organizations. It can mean a lot of different things. So if you're not sure if it applies to you, please feel free to apply and talk about your work in your organization.
Yeah, we'll go through the application, but there's a specific part to explain how you're a leader. And so, yeah, we're really interested in all the different possibilities that might arise through that.
Yeah. And so for the intensive part of the title, we are going to work intensively for 4 months. And really that's because we want to help participants get the most out of their time and apply the work to a campaign immediately this year.
Yeah, so I'm going to go through the campaign overview and then break down what intensive will look like and feel like, so that you understand it's really just to help you and it's not adding a lot of work to your plate. So the first phase is this September, those tentative September 7th to 10th dates when we're going to come together for an in-person campaign design intensive where we're going to learn all the fundamentals and start to apply them directly to your work. And then in phase 2, which is October, you're going to be taking all the ideas that came up in that design intensive and testing them out in your communities with the audiences that you're trying to reach. You're going to learn what is really working and which ideas to move forward with. And then in phase 3, you'll realize that campaign at whatever scale makes sense to your organization. And then we'll wrap up with some evaluation. We have months there, like we're really open to what leadership means in different organizations. We're very open to the specific timeline and how it works for you. Like if you're running a big campaign in October and want to apply all this to that, that is totally fine. Like we know everyone's working on a different calendar. So these are just general frameworks that we're thinking. And then in terms of like the amount of time we're asking from you, we made this little chart. And so in that first phase, the main thing is those in-person days that we're spending together, which is 4 days, including travel days. So we travel on Sunday, we start Sunday night, and then we work a lot Monday and Tuesday, and then you would leave Wednesday, like afternoon. And then for the rest of like what you'd be doing outside of the program, that's the designing your campaign work. Like that's the work that in some ways you probably be doing anyway with your organization. And so the amount of time it takes is really what makes sense to you and the work that you're doing and how your group works together. And then the next phases, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. It's mainly just 2 meetings. So we do monthly cohort meetings, and that's the way we will continue the training and the mentoring, but it's also this really important way to build that community that Rebecca was talking about and that people so value from these kinds of programs that we run. So you'll get to share wins with each other, you'll get to get advice from each other. And then also we will also meet in these individual sort of like coaching, mentorship, support sessions with you where we'll like really dive into the work that you're doing. So those are the 2 meetings per month. And then these like written updates are just kind of like helping you and for us to give feedback on your campaign plan. So they're sort of short and will help you organize your thoughts because that is what we've seen is very important for success. Great.
So how to apply? We're going to go through the actual application now. You'll find it on this site. I just put the link in the chat and you'll scroll down. There's a lot of great information, some of which we've gone over today. But then the application starts. And so we ask for some basic information. And then after that, you'll notice this nominator section. Now, this isn't actually required. It is recommended. We would love to see who has nominated you for the intensive. If you have someone who has, it might be someone you've worked with in your organization really closely or someone even outside of your organization. But perhaps someone in the field who knows the work you've done and knows your work ethic. So you would put their name and email there and their title or organization or some kind of affiliation that they have. Again, it's not required, but if you have that, we'd love to see it. And then below, it's going to ask some information about your organization, like your mission and where you work, who your audience is, staff and volunteers that you have. It will ask for your 2025 budget for your organization as well. And then we'll go into specifics about you. So what you do at the org, how you're a leader. And again, this can go into when you talk about what about your role makes you a leader. It might not be that title that is, technically associated with leadership, but you can tell us what makes you a leader. What is your experience bringing innovation or creativity to your work? This could be in your current role or past ones. And then the next set of questions is going to be about your interest in the intensive. So what grabbed your interest about it? What aspects of the program really excite you? Maybe what challenges have you been facing in your work that you think this program is going to help with? Any organization goals you might want to focus on. And then we asked this question, what are 5 wildly creative ideas you have for how to achieve the above goals? We don't want this to intimidate you, but just go, as it says, wild and put down your most interesting, creative, weird, wild ideas. We want to see all the weird and wild things. We will ask that you confirm that you're available for all the intensive elements. You can click other and a box will open if you want to just give us any specific information. Maybe you're out a particular week, but it might not actually, that might not affect it. We'd love to hear how you heard about the intensive, and then if there's just anything else you want to share, just let us know. And those are due July 29th.
Great. So if anyone has any questions, we are happy to answer them now. Feel free to put in the chat or unmute yourself, whatever you'd like.
Hi, I'm Claire. Thank you so much for putting this info session together. It was really great. I was wondering, just for the logistics of the in-person, so like I'm based in California, so I know that the intensive is on the East Coast. I think you said Hudson Valley. So just wondering how that works exactly for folks that are traveling a further distance that aren't really close by to where the in-person's actually happening.
Yeah, we've had people travel in from all over the country for our retreats in the Hudson Valley. So any kind of travel is welcome, and we can work with you to find flights. It's you can fly into any New York airport, and then you get to the Metro North train and you can take the train up to where we're going. So it's not like you need a car or anything like that. But those are the general outlines of it.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Sure. And yeah, it's going to be in Croton-on-Hudson in the Hudson Valley of New York. It's like an hour and a half outside the city. For Shelley's question. Anything else? What a great question, Natalie. Natalie asked, I wanted to clarify, is this for C3 campaigns? Yes, we are a C3. You don't have to be a C3. We've done this kind of work with all different types of organizations, C4s, LLCs. But for the campaign you're applying it to that we are supporting, it needs to be C3. Of course, the things that you learn, you'll want to apply to all your campaigns, C3 and not. Great, thanks, Natalie. Great,
Thanks, Joan.
thanks. So if any questions come up when you're applying, feel free to reach out. Our emails are all just our names at c4a.org. So mine is Rachel at c4a.org. And there's even a link at the top of the application that lets you email, I believe it's Crystal directly. And we are just really excited to work with folks to really push everything forward in a time that can feel like the opposite is happening in so many ways. And so we're really looking in the application for people excited about doing that. And it's like those folks open to that creativity that we just love working with so much. Great. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for being here.
you.
Bye.
Bye.